עכשיו אנחנו מבקשים את ארי גוטסמן. Before you build it, how are you going to sell it?
So, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this from the 1960s, where they said, Houston, we have a problem, and unfortunately the spacecraft that was in question was actually lost. This is the problem that most entrepreneurs face a little bit too far into the game. After they've already raised the money, they've already built their product, and it's already in space, and oops, there's no money left to sell it. And then guess what? You have to close up your company and game over. So I'm going to try to change the attitude and change the approach by helping the entrepreneurs here think about these issues a little bit beforehand, so we have less startups that actually crash and burn in Israel. I don't know if you guys are aware, but in Israel we have quite a lot of venture capital that's actually been invested in building technology, and building things that actually work, as opposed to the United States, where many of the things that have actually been built don't necessarily work, but the ideas are really good ideas and everybody wanted to actually buy them. The biggest problem that a startup has is the fact that there's a clock that is constantly ticking. And that clock is what you call a burn rate. Every day that goes by, you have less and less money left out of what you raised to actually spend on continuing the future of the company. A lot of Israeli companies, because we come from a security background, start off with the concept of stealth. They say, I've got such a great idea, everybody's going to steal my idea, nobody can know about it, I'm not going to talk about it with anyone until I have the absolute greatest, most fantastic platform built. And they pour their heart, their money, their soul, their house, everything into building this amazing product without speaking to anyone. But the problem is that ideas are a dime a dozen. How many of you guys know what IRC is? Okay, about half. Everybody knows ICQ, right? Everybody knows ICQ? How many of you know that IRC was actually the predecessor of ICQ and had been around for more than 10 years, maybe even 20 years, some would argue, before ICQ ever got to where it got? ICQ was not a new idea. Friendster. How many of you guys actually signed up for Friendster? Okay, maybe 4 people in the room? How many of you guys are on Facebook? Was Facebook a new idea? When you look at Facebook today and what exists today in Facebook, if somebody came out with a platform that looks like Facebook today and put it out in front of every one of you, how many of you guys would have been willing to sign up? Yeah, I didn't think so. Not a single person. Because what Facebook has today is kind of scary. Okay, and the only reason we were willing to sign up for it is because gradually it brought us in, piece by piece, little by little, something that was non-threatening, something that I really did need and I really did want to use, like just the simple fact of being able to stay in touch with people that I'd lost touch with. And here was a great way to do it. And here was a great way to do it that would be really closed and really private, because it started off around very, very select few college students. Just Harvard. Just Ivy League schools. Just universities. Just, until today, we know how big Facebook is. Nomad IQ. How many of you guys have heard of it? Well, that was my old company. Nomad IQ was started in 1999. And guess what we did? Anyone know Foursquare? Anyone know Facebook? Anyone know ICQ? We did all 3. Okay, we were just 10 years ahead of our time. We had a great idea. We actually had a product that worked, but we were really, really early in the market. We actually managed to sell the company for 40 mil, which is pretty good. Okay. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. So you've got this burn rate, you've got this achievement, you've got all these milestones that you set for yourself about what you want to do, how you want to do it, how quickly, how fast, you're going to work really, really hard to get there. And all these milestones you put up in your head, they're just out there and everyone's working, burning midnight oil, just trying to get there as fast as you can. But guess what? Most of the stuff that you've got in your head is imagined. They're not real milestones, they're not really important to your customers. This is a spec sheet that you guys built about how detailed and how you got a great product manager and how you've got this great timeline you're going to present to investors about what you're going to build. I don't know, can any of you guys read it? Because I sure as hell can't. How many of you guys are familiar with this? Oh, this is Word, right? Okay, this is actually a program that we all use, right? Except, I don't know about you guys, but that's really the only toolbar that I use. Okay, but you've got all these features in Word that you built. This is a concept called feature creep. And this is the scariest thing that you can present to an investor. Okay, so you're going out there trying to raise money, you're going to tell them about this great vision you're going to build. Every time you add another line item about what you're going to do, they look at that and they say, okay, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. I haven't even started talking about sales yet. Yes, of course, you need to build great technology in order to have a product. Okay, but it's not enough, because if you just build the product, you're going to be stuck inside that box. You're never going to be able to get out of that box to get to where you really need to do, which is to make money to recover the costs of your investment. So some people out there say, you need to take and focus on the 5 most important things that your product's going to do. I'd say today, you probably need to focus on 3, maybe 2, or maybe even just 1. Because if you've got more than that, by the time you actually build it and get it out to market, somebody else has probably caught up with you. Unfortunately, this is the brain of most entrepreneurs. And it's not really a brain, it's actually your ego. You think that you know better than 6 billion other people out there about what's going to work. And you might be right. There is a small percentage chance that you'll actually be right. But in most cases, this is what you look like when you're trying to listen to the people who are telling you, perhaps you should do it differently. Okay? Yes, you put your ear up, you put your hand out, you try to listen, but you're a little skeptical. Going back to the stealth idea for a moment, the most important thing that you can do is actually get out there and talk and scream about your idea to as many people as possible. Because Microsoft's not going to steal it, Google's not going to steal it, they don't have the time, it takes them too long to make decisions, it takes too much effort, there's too much bureaucracy. But if you scream it out loud enough, and you get up here on enough platforms and put it in front of enough people, then guess what? You might just have an investor sitting in the audience who says, I like that, and you'll get your first check. Yossi, are you here today?
The check is in the mail.
Thank you. This is the way most Israeli startups actually build their companies. Okay, I don't know if you can read that from out there, but Israeli startups spend 90% of their investment on R&D, and 10% of their investment on general administration, sales, and marketing. This is the way American companies build startups. Notice there's a slight difference. There's more colors. American startups spend 30% of their resources on R&D. They spend 30% of their resources on sales. They also spend 30% of their resources on marketing. Oh, and they spend 10% of their resources on administration initiatives. What do you think the difference is? The question is, are you building a product or are you building a company? Are you trying to build something that's actually going to scale and something that's going to grow and become something that is going to be bigger than just yourself, bigger than just a little piece? Because if all you're focused on doing is building the product and getting that product out to market, you're probably missing the bigger picture. Building a startup is a team effort. It's not just about the R&D team. Okay, when you start a new startup, how do you guys play chess? Okay, I don't know if you can see it here, but this is a very famous opening move where the other side wins in three moves. Are you guys familiar with that, right? Huh? Yes? No? Okay. But you recruit your technical team and you spend all your money on putting together that technical team. And then at some point, you get an actual investor who tells you, okay, guess what? You have to hire a VP a VP marketing, or maybe in Israel, what they usually do, which is a VP marketing and sales. And so you get your VP marketing and you get your VP sales, but guess what? None of them can move. They can't do anything because you have no resources left for them to actually utilize.
2 minutes?
2 minutes. All right, so I'll try to wrap it up really quickly. So the first thing that you've got to focus on is helping to create awareness about the problem that you're trying to solve. And you need to do that by talking to the people who actually have the problem that you're trying to solve and talking to a lot of them, not just one or two. After you've spoken to them, you need to make them aware that you've actually got the solution, even if it's not ready yet. In fact, if you've already built the solution, you've already wasted a lot of money building a lot of extra stuff that you didn't really need to do. And that's money that you could have used on sales and could have used on marketing. So before you write that first line of code, before you actually build anything, talk to people. You talk to them, now you got to get them to want it. And again, you got to get them to want it before you actually build it. Because if you haven't gotten them to want it, then once you build it, if you try to get them to want it, that's going to take a year and a half. And guess what? You're out of money before you can actually sell the product. Once you've done that, you actually have to get them to buy it. That means giving them a trial. That means being nice to them. That means kissing ass. Once you've actually got a customer, you got to let the world know about it. You got to let them know that somebody, somewhere out there, thought that your product was important enough, they were willing to pull money out of their pocket and give it to you to say thanks. Now, a lot of these concepts are foreign to entrepreneurs because guess what? In Israel, entrepreneurs aren't business people. They're engineers, which is fine. Okay? You guys know how to build stuff. You guys know how to build stuff really, really well. But for those of you that don't know how to actually go out and sell it, you can come to us and you can talk to us about it, because that's what we do. We have a team that helps you sell your product. Take care. Thank you very much.